is cured rockfish.
Cured
alongside
rockfish.
oxalis, a hyssop vinaigrette, and batera kombu.
Okay. Oxalis. What's that?
Yeah, so it's kind of what looks like a clover there. It's also known as like wood sorrel, just a very, very vegetal flavor to match the very floral flavor of the hyssop.
Okay, so rockfish with oxalis.
Yes.
And what's this pink one you said?
Hyssop.
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 Oh, hyssop.
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 Oh, wow, that's hyssop? And then you said what kind of vinaigrette?
So the vinaigrette mimics the flowers. So a hyssop vinaigrette is kind of resting underneath the fish.
Oh, wonderful.
What about yellow?
So the yellow there is batera kombu, and that's like the center part of the stem.
Butera kombu. Interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Pacific oysters.
Pacific oysters.
Pacific oysters from Humboldt Bay.
Humboldt.
Smoked over calendula.
Wait, smoked over calendula. Is that a?
Calendula is a flower.
It's smoked over a calendula. Okay.
Calendula flower, yes, sir. With cucumbers, which have been lightly pickled and then charred, butterball potatoes from our ranch, New Zealand spinach, and cilantro.
What? I'm sorry. What is that?
Those are finger lime. Yes. And then this is a sauce of the smoked oyster. And the green oil in the sauce is kelp oil that's been infused with the cucumber skin.
Interesting.
Alright, so this is a dish of red sea urchin coming from Fort Bragg, placed on a steamed egg custard known as a chawanmushi. There's a layer of toasted dulse here, which is a red seaweed varietal that we find in our cove, and chef turns that into a glaze. Feel free to enjoy this course with that little gold spoon to get through each and every layer of warm egg custard and sea urchin.
So you said, so it's sea urchin and chawanmushi under there, and then you said something.
So this brown glaze that you see on top is made from a red seaweed varietal called dulse, D-U-L-S-E. And dulse is kind of like a more firm sea vegetable. And so we turn this into a glaze, and that kind of just is laying right on top of that. The egg custard is whole egg and dashi, and that's kind of how we make the base of our steamed egg custard.
Dulse. Interesting. And this purple
That is
thing?
bean flour.
Bean flour, like baked beans.
Yeah, like beans, like string beans.
Interesting. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoy. So this is our sourdough bread, which we make here. We've had the same sourdough starter since we opened about 5 years ago.
So you opened this restaurant 5 years ago?
Yes.
Ah. And how long have you had this inn?
So the inn itself, that's kind of a trickier question. So the inn, or this building, dates back to 1916. So,
Oh, I read that, yeah.
All right, so the bread itself, sourdough, then the butter we culture here, and it's blended with sea lettuce that we harvest from the cove.
Sea lettuce.
That's right.
Interesting. Thank you.
Wonderful. Welcome in. All right, so I'd love to present our next course for you this evening. We have red abalone for you.
Red abalone.
Coming from Monterey. And it's been prepared in what appears to be a rock here, but this is actually a dough. This dough is made from ash and sand. The ash from our grill. The sand comes from our beach down below. Just a little bit of flour and water just to help bind all those ingredients together. And then as you'll see in just a moment here, your abalone is protected by this sheet of kelp. And this whole thing gets roasted in the oven, allowing the abalone to steam within inside this packet, really lending itself to the texture of the abalone, and that kelp imparts quite a bit of flavor. So we'll take this back to the kitchen, we'll carve it, and we'll serve it for your next course.
Awesome. Thank you. Good evening.
Right, so returning with your abalone. So we're serving the abalone this evening with some grilled lettuces from the farm, very lightly grilled and then finished with a sea vegetable vinaigrette, and then some wakame seaweed that's been braised.
That's this, huh?
Yes, sir. Some of the adductor muscle from the abalone themselves, sliced very thin, and then on the side, to kind of dip the components of the bowl into, or some bread if you so wish, a sauce made from the stomachs of the abalone.
Stomach of the abalone. Okay. Thank you.
What's the name of the flower?
That's a brassica flower, wild brassica flowers that we forage from the area.
Brassica.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Pearl fried zucchini. seasoned with a little escalette pepper coming from the Boonville area, and some.
I'm
black-
sorry. So you said this is sun-dried zucchini?
This is tempura fried zucchini.
Uh-huh.
Zucchini.
It's been seasoned with an escalette pepper
Espelette pepper.
coming from the Boonville area, and a little bit of black lime.
Black wine.
What
Okay.
I just placed down is a little bit of lemon,
Uh-huh. This.
Lemon, is it the lemon?
pink lemon,
Pink lemon.
to squeeze over the top of your mushroom.
Squeeze
Sorry.
on top.
Sorry, to squeeze over top of the
Tempura?
zucchini.
Ah,
Yes.
zucchini.
And then in the cup I just placed down is a little bit of glazed lichen, foraged from the area, cooked soft like noodles, paired with a little bit of zucchini as well. Feel free to eat that portion with your chopsticks.
I'm sorry, you said lichen?
Lichen.
What's a lichen?
So lichen hangs from the trees in the area. It's very wispy, and if you look underneath the cup, there's a little bit of the raw format of the lichen itself.
Oh,
We do have-
sorry. You said lichen. I thought you said lichen. Lichen. Yeah. Okay. And so you said lichen and zucchini. Oh, this is the zucchini.
Yeah.
And this is lichen.
Lichen, and then there's also a little bit of lichen or zucchini in with the lichen.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And feel free for the tempura fried zucchini. Feel free to use your hands. We have some towels for you.
Okay. And you said we put the lemon, we squeeze it on top of the tempura, right?
Indeed.
Okay.
And then lastly, a little bit of a broth made from zucchini blossom,
Zucchini blossom broth. Interesting.
zucchini and shrimp. And in the bottom is a little bit of chive.
Oh, that's what's floating there? The
Indeed.
chives? Ah. So zucchini blossom broth with chives. Okay.
And then feel free to sip this at the end of your course.
Okay, so we end it with the broth. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alright, so the smoke that's been released from the box is from bay. So I'll show you the trapdoor underneath. There are some fresh bay leaves here from a tree down in our garden. And on top is black cod.
Black cod.
Right, so the cod was grilled very slowly beforehand, and in the smoke, it's just seasoned a little bit more. Placing it now on top of calicari rice that's cultivated in Petaluma.
I'm sorry, what kind of rice?
Calicari
Calicari rice.
Yes.
In Petaluma.
in Petaluma. So it's a Japanese varietal or a clone, and the Cali part of that name comes from California. Since it's
Ah.
So I'm adding a glaze over the top of scallion to tie these flavors together.
Uh-huh.
And then I also have a small plate of pickles for you. So on this silver leaf plate, there is taproot and brassica that was fermented and pickled in a nukazuke bed.
Taproot and
Brassica.
brassica. Man, we're learning something new every dish.
Amazing.
So you said that this black cod was lightly seared? Wait, you said it was
Grilled.
Grilled.
So never any direct heat, so it's quite tender, that texture.
Uh-huh.
And it's not in the box for very long, so that smoke is just seasoning really at this point.
I see. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Great. So slightly different presentations here. So beef for you, and then heirloom tomatoes for you. A sauce that complements those flavors. You'll also see some beans tucked in the layers of those tomatoes. Those are dragon tongue beans.
So these are heirloom tomatoes.
Yes.
And then this
kind of
is-
mimicking that texture.
This is like a tartare style.
Similar. So it is raw, but the plate is warm. So it is gently kind of changing flavor as
Uh-huh.
it is in front of you.
Uh-huh.
Those same beans tucked in there. And then your sauce contains the tomato as well.
I'm sorry, what? Sing beans?
Dragon tongue.
Dragon tongue.
They're like speckled. They're very beautiful. Yeah.
So that's the name of the bean, dragon
It is.
tongue.
I don't know who names all these beans, but it's a good name.
So which one is the dragon tongue? These?
Yes, those pieces that are kind of blanketed in the layers.
Uh-huh. And what's this?
So the flowers, you have society garlic on there, just to give it a little bit more flavor, some seasoning that comes from just the flowers themselves.
So this is raw beef. The only thing is that the plate has a little bit of a heat
Gently warmed.
warmed. Interesting. And so it's the same way that it's made, but this is heirloom tomatoes.
Tomatoes, yeah.
Interesting. Thank
Mimicking
you.
that same texture and kind of feel of it.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome. Presentation for you. So for you is lamb, and then for you is chicken. Okay.
Chicken, lamb, and chicken. Okay.
This chicken here, I'm adding a light chicken jus.
So is this from your ranch?
Yes.
This chicken?
Yes.
Ah.
And
And
it's
what?
gently steamed, so it's a very, very soft texture.
Uh-huh. Which part of the chicken is it? Do you know?
Breast.
Breast. Okay.
And then lamb loin for you.
Lamb
and then
loin.
in the center of the plate, wrapped in nasturtium. That little sphere there, yes. So there is lamb sausage.
Lamb sausage in there. Okay.
And then you have a medley of different flowers and herbs. So the bright orange flower off to the other side. Nasturtium flowers. So the leaf is what's wrapping your sausage. There's also borage here, buckwheat flowers, mange. So all of those flavors and flowers have different seasonings that they bring to the plate.
What's the orange one called?
Nasturtium.
Nasturtium. God,
many
I'm learning something new every dish.
Very good.
Okay, nasturtium. And this lavender one?
Borage. Borage.
Borage, like porridge but with the B.
Correct.
Borage. Wow, interesting. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Of 3 dessert courses. Layers of yogurt amazake, strawberry, lemon verbena ice, and sweet alyssum flowers.
Alyssum flowers.
Alyssum, yes.
Alyssum. You said layers of yogurt?
Yes, so the bottom is layers of yogurt with amazake. Then you have a little, I hate calling it a gel, but a layer of like this jelly made from fresh strawberries that are layered in there. And then right on top, lemon verbena ice and fresh alyssum flowers.
Lemon verbena.
Verbena, like the herb.
Ah. So wow, so the yogurt is mixed with amazake.
It is.
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you very
This is
much.
definitely going to awaken the taste buds here.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Absolutely. Layers of marigold ice cream. Sitting beneath that, honeycomb candy, bee pollen, and fresh peaches.
Leaf pollen.
Bee pollen.
Bee pollen.
Yes, fresh bee pollen, and that's actually sitting right underneath the layers of peaches. Honeycomb candy is what's at the very bottom.
Sorry, so right below here.
Correct, yes.
Uh-huh. And you said layers of what?
So honeycomb candy, marigold ice cream, bee pollen, and fresh peach.
Marigold ice cream. Interesting.
Type of herb that we have in our gardens here down below.
Interesting. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Baking soda, and what that does is it raises it up. Once it raises itself rather, we lay it out on parchment paper, put it into the oven, and that becomes this nice kind of caramelized brown, almost honey-like substance. So honey with the baking soda kind of raises that up. We push that out, and then we let that dry. It hardens naturally with the air, and then we crunch it up, and that's what goes at the very bottom.
So that's what you call bee candy.
Yeah, honeycomb.
Honeycomb candy.
Yeah.
And then
And that is actual bee pollen.
actual bee
That
pollen.
is.
That is very creative.
Are you is it
And
tasty?
it's very tasty. Thank you.
Wonderful. Of course, my pleasure.
All right.
We like to end each meal with a warm beverage. Tonight is an infusion of Douglas fir with a little bit of grilled honey.
Douglas fir with grilled honey.
Indeed.
And that's what this is?
Honey rests underneath the bundle of flowers in front of you, and the Douglas fir is in here.
Oh, this is the Douglas
Yeah,
fir.
indeed.
Is that like a tea?
Indeed, we steep it. Someone collects it daily, washes it very well, and then we steep out. And then we wash it really well. We put it in the pot, steep it for a few minutes,
So Douglas fir instead of tea leaf, and it turns into a tea.
Yeah, something similar. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and what is this stem?
That is a little bundle of flowers that we suggest to use as sort of a stir stick or a honey dipper. So you dip the bundle in the flowers in the honey, and then you dip it into the infusion that I'm about to place in front of you.
Okay, so you place this, dip it in the honey, and then in this infusion.
And while they are beautiful and not toxic, we don't suggest eating them. They'll just be fairly unpleasant, just using them as a honey dipper. And then a few small bites to round out our meal, including a candy cap macaroon, on this plate,
Macaroon, yeah.
indeed, and a little bite of pata choux filled with grilled miso and apple cider.
Pata choux.
And then on the smaller green round plate, we have an umeboshi caramel.
Bush caramel. Okay.
And then lastly, on the square plate, we have a beet and sake bite. And
Beet and sake.
it's the diamond yellow,
Uh-huh.
darker yellow, and a mugwort and cypress candy.
What's a mugger?
Mugwort is
Oh,
a variety
mugwort
of sage.
and cypress candy. Okay. And you said what is this?
That is the Douglas fir.
That was
The tea. Yeah. So you dip this and you can eat it?
No, do not eat it. So you use it sort of as a stir stick or a honey dipper. So you just use it to transfer.
Oh,
the
got
honey.
it. It's almost like a straw. So you dip this in the honey, and then you add the honey in here and mix it. Aha. Okay, I got it now.
And then if you eat it, it'll just be a little unpleasant.
Okay.
I guess.
Thank you very much.